Okay, so we're gonna be critiquing Toon of the Week, and I'm gonna be upfront with you. I think it is one of the most overhyped things that the Danny's World fandom has ever tried to cope with. Because what was the main complaint during the month of April that people were asking for? Gameplay, right? The gameplay loop. Does this answer for the gameplay loop at all in any way, shape, or form? No, it doesn't. And what's even crazier is that in the April devlog, she made it abundantly clear that the gameplay loop was not going to be touched at all. None of that was advertised. And it's even worse because, at least with the dial update, there's an understanding for why it was overhyped. And the only reason why Dial's update was overhyped was because the execution of it was poor. I mean, think about it. We got a new machine. We got a new event floor. We got a new boss floor that we didn't even know was kicking in. We got a new tune, etc. At least in the Dial update, it answered for the critique back then, which was for the gameplay loop. It tried to. Again, the execution was very poor, but nevertheless, it tried. Toon of the Week doesn't do that at all. So let's start off with what was advertised to us first, okay? First thing that's flickering right on your screen, this new skin. Roblox exclusive skin, by the way. Let's take the opportunity to equip it. So I will say, one of the things that did worry me about this skin was that it was just going to be a plain default skin. I'm really glad they added the effects because, after all, this skin does cost, well, 50 Robux. And in a regular Game Pass like Star Time or the Christmas Game Pass, overall costs 200 Robux. And if you divide that by 5, because there are 5 tunes receiving this skin, per tune, it's 40 Robux. So this one costed 10 extra. It should be on par with those skins. It should have effects, and I'm really glad it does. I know a lot of people complain about the fact that this should have been a redesign for Sprout. I am of the opinion that, I don't really think so. I think he's fine with his default there. Plus, even if you do redesign the tune, I mean, think about it. There's a lot of things you're gonna have to cover for. His render, his obvious default skin, the posters. There's a lot of stuff that you'd have to go over. It's not just a simple change and voila. Overall, not a big deal to me. But I will say this. Why on earth do they need more money? I'm just gonna be upfront with you. They already make so much, and I would say this is probably their biggest selling point, the merchandise. They already make enough from the daily logins that people hop on for. They make plenty from the game passes. Why on earth did this need to cost Robux? This should have costed iCore. I really do think that. And again, what's being shoved in our face for the billionth time? Skins, skins, skins. And it's just so tiring, man. Again, is the skin itself bad? No, not at all. It's actually pretty good. But is this what people ask for? No, not at all. Get me off this character. I must be in my normal state. Now, the next thing that is advertised to you are prizes. So first things first, the title. It's an Onyx title. I'll equip that right now. It's called Sprout Fan. It is pretty much a participation award. I mean, complete one of these quests and you get it. And this stuff is not really that tough. So it's not really something to flex. It's more of a, well, I guess it's a FOMO flex. Got a little nice shine to it, bit of glimmer, blah, blah, blah. But again, it's just a participation award, not a big deal. Plus, does it answer for the gameplay loop? Obviously not. Next prize, I was a little shocked by this because the way the sticker works is much like the golden brick sticker. It is a golden sticker. Let's equip that right now. Again, it's got a nice shimmer, glimmer all over it in regards to the glistening effects as well as his crown. But that's all it is, cosmetic, because at the end of the day, this doesn't really give you an advantage at all, but I'm not gonna make a big deal of it. So it's all right, but at the end of the day, it is just a cosmetic, and it doesn't answer for the gameplay loop. And finally, yet again, the golden skin. We're gonna have to put on Sprout one more time, and he's got the golden berry. I will say, at least this skin, the execution for it was pretty nice. I don't know why some of the tunes rock the golden skin well, while others just don't, but yeah, Sprout definitely pulls it off really nicely. But again, it's just a cosmetic. Okay, I'm tired of the skins, man. Skin, skin, skin. Do we have to go over this again? Ha! Dandy's world? More like Dandy's wardrobe. But yeah, there's nothing else to say. It doesn't add to the gameplay loop. Who cares? Now, in order to get all this, the quest. Now, oh man. Okay, let's talk about the Savory Charm ordeal. This is easy, it's fine. I actually don't mind this at all. But what did piss me off is that there were people who were proclaiming, even though it wasn't advertised in the devlog, that, oh, Savory Charm is gonna get a rework, a revamp, blah, blah, blah. No, it was not. Why did people even think that? It's so wild how these people love gaslighting. I mean, they gaslight themselves into thinking this was going to be the biggest deal of the century. And then when they realize it wasn't, they're like, oh, they're going to rework Savory Charm. No, they weren't. They didn't even touch that at all. Sorry, that's a little bit of a side tangent. But overall, this is fine. It doesn't matter. At most, you're looking at around 20-ish to 30-ish minutes of playtime. Depending on your team, obviously. And probably even shorter than that. So no big deal there. I like this one, complete floor 10 as Sprout or with at least one Sprout on your team. I really like that because one of the main problems with these quests is that it forces you to play the character, and not just that, it would also cause a lot of bloating within the game. I mean, just remember the Christmas quest as well as the Easter quest. I mean, how many times did we see Cole players? How many times did we see Bassy players and Coco players and blah, blah, blah? Just a spam of these tunes in your matchmaking runs. So I'm really, really glad this answers for that. And plus, it's complete floor 10. One more time. Takes about, I want to say, between 20 to 30 minutes. It just depends on your team. So no big deal. That's how long it should be. Now, let's talk about the next quest, because this is what I have a problem with. I am so tired of the RNG stuff. Stop forcing playtime. And before people go, oh, but she added Twisted Sprout onto the board. Sure, I get it, right? I mean, after all, in regards to Sprout, he has 1 out of the 5 mains during non-holidays. So it would actually be a lot easier to get. So I am appreciative of the fact that she at least changed the Twisted board for Sprout during the weekend. That's good. But at the end of the day, it's still RNG. You know how long it took me? 1 hour and 45. I should not be playing that just for one quest alone. Why is there such a dynamic range of time spent on this quest versus the other two? That is absolutely absurd. And, of course, Danny's role players being the short-term and not long-term thinkers that they are, what's going to happen when we get a rare tune? What's going to happen? This is going to skyrocket. That playtime is going to take even longer. Even with the new rates. Stop with the RNG. We've complained about this. We don't want RNG, period. I don't care if it's easier, okay? No more RNG. She's farming you off of your playtime and you fall for it because you're a sucker. At least I'm getting paid. But that's enough of what's advertised on the brochure. Okay, the lore. Let's talk about that. Now, keep in mind, this is not my forte, so I'm letting you know I could care less about the lore. But if I were to critique it and give a base for my rating, my main thing is, okay, what is being introduced? Is it new? Is it not? Does it enhance the main story? Does it not? Now, of course, in regards to the main story, like, for example, the I-Core operation, the tapes, what makes Dandy a morally great character when all we've seen from him is pure and utter evil, Arthur and Delilah's whereabouts, how Garden View fell and the whole playthrough of that. We literally know next to nothing, and Tune of the Week for Sprout does absolutely nothing to address that. But I don't really expect it to, because, again, it is Tune of the Week. I don't think it's going to go over the main storyline. It's going to go over individual story, and I'm okay with that. But does it introduce anything new in regards to Sprout and his character? No, it really does not. Let's talk about the more overglazed aspect, that being the false Tune memories. I thought we already knew this. Did we not? Did we not have that already established in regards to, well, Gordy during Halloween, during that music video? Hello? I remember in streams past prior, we were going through some deductive reasoning in regards to Gordy, because that was one of the biggest questions ever was, well, is Gordy's memories of his parents real or fake? And that was something that the Danny's World community was talking about for quite a while. Now, not to sound weird, I really don't mean this to be weird, okay? But through deductive reasoning, we asked ourselves the question, well, can the tunes even reproduce? And I think the answer is, well, no. So that begs the question, how on earth can Gordy even have parents if, biologically speaking, he can't have any? If anything, his creators are Arthur and Delilah. So where are these memories coming from? You have to reasonably assume that it's manufactured. I mean, what else? And this isn't the first time that it's hinted at either. I mean, think about Exit for a second, right? Everything about him screams manufactured. How can he be the oldest Toon in Guarded View and yet came into existence after Dandy? How can he recall the hunt, right, when he didn't exist during that era? Everything about the Toon screams manufactured, from what they look like, their personalities, which tends to activate their proclivities, and you can reasonably assume memories too. I mean, I felt like we already knew that. Did Danny's World players forget about this? I mean, who am I kidding? Danny's World players are brainlets. They have short-term memory. But if I were to be generous about the lore, at the very least, it confirms it, okay? So there's that. And it is a little cool seeing Sprout and Astro talking to one another. It's very human interaction. I like it. But does it add anything new? No, it doesn't. And the second part of the lore, Sprout, did you know that he likes Cosmo for the bajillionth, millionth, gillionth time? This character is so one-dimensional, man. How in the span of 2 years have you not shown any form of growth at all? I've seen plenty of movies and shows of characters being super dependent of another character, and eventually they grow to be dependent. Or if they still remain dependent, they show signs of, well, their own being. Sprout just doesn't show that at all within the 2 years of Danny's World's existence. I'm sorry, but he is a one-dimensional character. Also, side tangent, I really hate the fact that we were all complaining unanimously about the gameplay, and it was hijacked by these lore junkies, man. And now we're getting the competitive scene hopping on that train too? Stop, freaking stop with that, man. The gameplay is one of the most neglected things that Danny's World has, and yet you want to hijack it with your dumb little lore tidbits and your competitive gameplay. Stop, man, stop. Okay, side tangent over, back on track. So what else was advertised for Toon of the Week? Well, let's go back to the devlog. What was one of the things that Quell mentioned? Toon polishing. For some reason, Danny's World players presumed that she was talking about Toon reworks, and I reasonably suspected that she wasn't talking about that at all. And people got on my ass for it because I questioned her vernacular in regards to Toon polishing. And guess what? We were right. Sprout didn't get a single bit of Toon polishing whatsoever. In fact, the only thing that was polished was this ugly ass render, man. This nightmare-fueled looking render. That was the only thing that got polished. Everything else in regards to his abilities remained the same. Cole has been notoriously known for using poor vernacular, and you got on my ass for it. I mean, think about it. She really thinks matchmaking is quick play. She thinks Bobette's buff is a rework. I am well within my jurisdiction to question her vernacular. But nevertheless, I do want to be generous. Let's pretend for a second that she was talking about Toon reworks. Why did she pick Sprout? Sprout is arguably one of the more balanced Toons I've seen, okay? I mean, there's really nothing too buff about Sprout. So why did we pick him? Why didn't we pick someone like, say, Tegan, who needs it? Toodles, Tisha, especially Scraps, Poppy, Flutter, Connie, Boxton. There's so many options. Why did you pick Sprout? And if you were going to pick a main, Astro's right there. He's probably the weakest of the 5. Why not him? So in other words, what you were trying to sell about Toon polishing didn't even kick in. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the team. There seems to be a complete brain drain. Now, for the final thing that was advertised for Toon of the Week. The new twisted AI interactions. Oh boy. Even during the devlog, I just thought, this is so weak. How does this enhance the gameplay experience? First of all, 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna see it. Why? Because distractors are gonna end up taking the twisteds. You're never gonna see Sprout looking at a stupid ass poster. You're never gonna see him follow Cosmo. Not to mention, there's also an RNG aspect in regards to the twisted interactions. For example, Sprout has to be on a map where his poster is present. There are plenty of maps without his poster, and so you're never gonna see that interaction. And there's more RNG involved in regards to Twisted Sprout and Cosmo existing on the same floor. So you have to get over several hurdles, right? The distractors, the RNG. But even if you were playing alone and you finally saw these interactions, they're just not cool, man. Again, it doesn't fix the issue that we were all complaining about. What's that? Gameplay loop. How does this enhance it? And that's the neat thing. It doesn't. And for some reason, people praise that as though it was like, a big thing when it clearly wasn't. Even during the devlog, it just, I'm sorry, didn't look like a big deal. Okay, so what are my final thoughts for Toon of the Week? I mean, it's ass. I don't know what else to tell you. Doesn't add to the gameplay loop. And the thing is, I think the idea of Toon of the Week is great, but the problem is that we have a boring gameplay base, man, and it's been neglected for so long. Stuff like this would be fine if after the base of the game is established. But we just had so many cosmetics shoved into our faces, and this doesn't help, man. She lied about fixing the RNG aspect. It's still here. The lore reveals nothing new. The polishing, where is it? Why did you pick this Toon of all the other Toons that need polishing? The Twisteds, ruined by distractors. And the RNG. Overall, this did nothing to fix the complaints that the people had, man. And you're gonna see in the incoming weeks, the hype is going to die down dramatically. People are gonna see it for what it is. They're not gonna overglaze just because they saw the devlog. That's gonna change real quick. And the player count dropped so damn fast, man, because one more time, this adds nothing new. So yeah, those are my thoughts. And it's good that the next Toon that's gonna be worked on is a non-main. I was really worried that she was gonna go through all the mains first. So at least we can give Toon of the Week another chance. But who knows when that will be coming. I hope soon, but there's no guaranteed. And with that, I'm gonna be calling it here. Goodbye. Goodbye.